Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about the Superman curse, so let's get into it. Welcome back to the next episode of the SamDjanShow. We're talking about movies, pop culture. Today we're talking about the Superman curse. Now you're probably asking me what's Superman curse, so let's get into it. Now before I do it, the mic is going to click notification bell. There's a wiki about the Superman curse, which most of this is from Wiki. You can find this Wikipedia. Most of this is pretty much from Wikipedia. So let's get into it. So let me make this another bit bigger. Um, I don't think it makes a difference. I'll read it out. So, the Superman curse refers to a series of supposedly related misfortunes that have plagued creative people involved in adaptations of Superman in various media, particularly actors who have played the role of Superman on film and television. The curse is frequently associated with George Reeves, who starred in Avengers Superman on television from 1952 to 1958 and died of a gunshot wound at the age of 45 under disputed circumstances. Officially ruled a suicide. Christopher Reeve, who played the superhero in 4 theatrical films from 1978 to 1987, was paralyzed in 1995 horseback riding accident and died 9 years later at the age of 52 from heart failure. The curse is often invoked whenever misfortune is experienced by actors and other personnel who have worked on Superman adaptation. So much so that some talent agents cite the curse as a reason for the difficulty in casting actors in a role in live action feature films. A more prosaic explanation for the alleged curse is that given the high number of people involved in the many adaptations and treatments of the Superman story of these, a number of misfortunes would inevitably occur as they would do in any substantial sampling of random individuals. So this is pretty much a list. So I I've broken it down. You can see them all on screen. Here's deceased Superman actors who allegedly became victims of the curse. So the following actors who played Superman have sometimes been cited as victims of the Superman curse. So let's start off with Kirk Allen. So Kirk Allen, here's a picture of Kirk Allen. Kirk Allen played Superman in 2 low-budget 1940s serials, but failed to work afterwards because he was too closely identified with the role. As a result, he was relegated to voice-overs, commercials, and uncredited screen roles. He later appeared as Lois Lane's father in the 1978 Superman film. Allen had Alzheimer's disease later in his life and died in 1999 at the age of 88. Lee Quigley. Lee Quigley, who played Superman as a baby in the 1978 film, died in 1991 at age 14 of solvent abuse. George Reeves. George Reeves plays Superman in the 1951 film Superman and the Mole Men and the ensuing television series Adventure Superman. Like Allen and Reeve, he was too closely associated with the role to find further work. On June 16, 1959, days before he was to be married, Reeves was found dead of a gunshot wound at his home with his Lugia near him. The death was ruled a suicide, but controversy surrounds the death, as Reeves' fingerprints were never found on the gun, and he had been having an affair with the wife of an MGM exec, Eddie Mannix. It was Reeves' death that inspired the conspiracy theories and the urban legend of a curse associated with the character. There's a picture of George Reeves and Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve played Superman Clark Kent in the Superman film series, Superman the Movie, Superman 2, Superman 3, and Superman 4 Quest for Peace. Like Kirk Allen, Reeve was so closely identified with the character that it was difficult for him to acquire lead parts in other films. He was largely relegated to Superman sequels and supporting roles. Reeve was paralyzed from the neck down after being thrown from his horse in a cross-country equestrian riding event on May 27, 1995. Reeve died on October 10, 2004, age 52, 15 days after his birthday. No official autopsy was performed on the actor. However, both Reeve's wife and Diana and his doctor, John McDonald, believe that an adverse reaction to a drug caused Reeve's death. Here's a picture of Christopher Reeve. Now we're on the other alleged victims. These are people who are associated with the Superman franchise, but they didn't technically play Superman, so Yeah, star of Marlon Brando. Here's a picture of Marlon Brando. You probably know Marlon Brando from The Godfather and Lost Time to Go in Paris. The Marlon Brando, who played Jor-El, the 1978 film, is cited for the misfortune he suffered in his private life, such as his son Christian's shooting of his half sister Cheyenne boyfriend in 1990. Um, and subsequent 5-year imprisonment. Brando's own admission in court that he had failed his son and daughter, his daughter's suicide, 1995 suicide, as later inclusiveness. He died in July 2004, 3 months before his Superman co-star Christopher Reeve. Footage of him would later be posthumously used in 2006 as Superman Returns. Margaret Kidder. So you have Mark Kidder. Margaret Kidder, who played Superman's love interest Lois Lane, opposite Christopher Reeve, had bipolar disorder in April 1996. She went missing for several days and was found by police in a paranoid, delusional state. Kidder dismissed the notion of a curse, remarking in a 2002 interview, "This is all newspaper create rubbish. The idea cracks me up. What about luck of Superman? When my car crashed this August, if it hadn't hit a telegraph pole after rolling 3 times, I would have dropped from 50 feet to 60 ravine. Why don't people focus on that?" Kidder died on May 13, 2018 in Livingston, Montana after a drug and alcohol overdose. Her death was ruled a suicide. Richard Pryor. So a picture of Richard Pryor. Comedian Richard Pryor, who had previously had a drug addiction that led to a near-fatal suicide attempt, starred as villain Gus Gorman in 1983 Superman 3, but later took Superman's side near the end of the movie and became a hero. 3 years later, he announced he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. He died of a heart attack on December 10, 2005, at the age of 65. Dana Reeve. It was Dana Reeve. She was the wife of Christopher Reeve. The curse has been mentioned regarding the death of actress Dana Reeve, the widow of actor Christopher Reeve, who, despite being a non-smoker, died of lung cancer in 2006 at the age of 44. Both her and Christopher Reeve, they were both dedicated in. They both had a dedication in Superman Returns. So when you see the end credits, you'll see their names there. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. If you don't know them, they created Superman. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the writer and artist who created Superman, sold the rights to their creation to DC Comics for a relatively small amount of money, in contrast to the amount of money the character has generated over the decades. Despite the repeated efforts over the course of the rest of their lives to recover legal ownership of Superman, and the sharing immense profits that the character brought for DC Comics, DC's copyright on the character was renewed. By the 1950s, Shuster's worsening eyesight prevented him from drawing, and he worked as a delivery man in order to earn a living. Darren Robinson claimed that Shuster had delivered a package to DC by embarrassing the employees. He was summoned to the CEO, given $100 and told to buy a new coat and find another job. By 1976, Shuster was almost blind and living in a California nursing home. In 1975, Siegel launched a publicity campaign in which Shuster participated, protesting DC Comics' treatment of him and Shuster in the face of a great deal of negative publicity over the handling of the affair. And with the Superman movie coming soon, DC's parent company, Warner Communications, reinstated the byline dropped more than 30 years earlier and granted the pair a lifetime pension of $20,000 a year, plus health benefits. The first issue with the restored credit was Superman Volume 1, issue 302, August 1976. Siegel died in 1996 and Shuster in 1992. There's a picture of both of them. So yeah. Max and Dave Fleischer. Brothers Max Fleischer and Dave Fleischer of Fleischer Studios, who produced the Paramount Superman cartoons, began to quarrel with one another, and the studio suffered financial disaster. After selling to Paramount Pictures, the new owners fired the two brothers. One of them died in poverty. So there's a picture of two of them. I don't know if you can see it well. Moving on, Kay Bosworth. So Kay, this is this is Kay Bosworth. You probably know her. She plays Lois Lane in Superman Returns. The Kay Bosworth played Lois Lane in Superman Returns. Although she did not suffer any physical attacks accidents, or illnesses. Her romantic relationship with Orlando Bloom ended in 2006, which she blamed on the Superman curse. DVD crew of Superman Returns. The DVD crew, the curse was invoked after 3 people involved in the creation of the Superman Returns DVD were injured. One of them fell through a flight of stairs, another was mugged and physically assaulted, and a third smashed into a glass window. Director Bryan Singer remarked, "My DVD crew absorbed the curse for us." Alison Mack. You know Alison Mack. She played Chloe Sullivan in the Smallville TV show. Alison Mack, who played Chloe Sullivan on the TV series Smallville, was accused of sex trafficking and forced human labor and was arrested in April 2018 on those charges. An article on Fox News speculated whether this was related to the curse. This picture of Alison Mack. Christopher Dennis. This picture of Christopher Dennis. We know Hollywood, well-known Hollywood Boulevard Superman Christopher Dennis battled drug use and homelessness for several years. He was subsequently found dead inside a closed donation box on November 2nd, 2019. He and Superman actor Christopher Reeve both died at the age of 52. Lane Smith. Lane Smith played Perry White in the TV series Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. Smith was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, in April 2004. He died of the disease at his home in Northridge, California on June 13, 2005 at the age of 69. This picture of Lane Smith. Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey played Lex Luthor in Superman Returns. In October 2017, Spacey was accused of several sexual harassments and assault of various men. In December 2018, he was charged with indecent assault, and battery in relation to an accusation by Anchorman Heather Unruh that he sexually assaulted her 18-year-old son. But by July 2019, the criminal charge had been dropped. As a result of the allegations, Netflix cut ties with Spacey, shelving his film Gore and removing him from the last season of House of Cards. Spacey's role as J. Paul Getty in Ridley Scott's film All the Money in the World 2017 was reshot with actor Christopher Plummer in his place. In 2018, Billionaire Boys Club, which had been completed before the allegations surfaced, was released with Spacey's role unchanged. Here's a picture of Kevin Spacey. Bryan Singer. Bryan Singer directed Superman Returns. Directed this 2006 film Superman Returns. Since 1997, a number of boys and men have alleged that Singer sexually assaulted them as minors. Singer has denied all the allegations. The British Academy of Film and Television asked to remove Singer's name from Bohemian Rhapsody's 2019 nomination for the BAFTA Award for the Best British Film because of the allegations against him. It's a picture of Bryan Singer. He also directed the X-Men movies. So now we want Superman actors not generally believed to have become victims of the curse. Now, the following actors have either portrayed Superman or voiced him in animated cartoons, but are not typically associated with the curse. Dean Cain. Dean Cain became a household name in the early to mid-90s for his portrayal of Superman Clark Kent in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. He went on to have various roles in such shows such as Frasier and Law and Order, as well as made-for-TV movies. He also made guest appearances in two other Superman-related series, in episodes Smallville as the villainous Dr. Curtis Knox, and a recurring role on Supergirl as the title character's foster father, Jeremiah Danvers. ABC correspondent Buck Wolf once commented, "Cain has yet to find the right role." This picture of Dean Cain. Bud Collyer. Bud Collyer voiced the first series of Superman cartoon from 1941 to 1943. He went on to enjoy Korean television, hosted the game show To Tell the Truth. He returned to Superman by voicing the New Adventures of Superman for CBS in 1966. He died in 1969 circulatory alignment at the age of 61. Voice actors have generally been considered not to be affected by the curse. It's Bud Collyer. Tom Welling. Tom Welling played Clark Kent in the series Smallville, which aired from 2001 to 2011. He told Tenny's Fan Expert Canada he did have doubts about taking on the character. They stem from the secrecy with which the producer initially withheld details about the production, and not the purported curse, to which he did not paid he had not paid any mind. Welling expanded that once he was given a script to read, his doubts were put to rest. He later reappears as Clark Kent in the 2019-2020 Arrowverse crossover storyline Crisis on Infinite as a husband and father who had given up his powers and is therefore immune to kryptonite, with which Lex Luthor attempts to kill him. His Tom Welling, you probably know, he was in Lucifer. He was also in Smallville. I think he's in the Winchesters on CW, the Smallville, the Supernatural prequel. He plays Clark Kent in Smallville. Brandon Routh, actor Brandon Routh, who played Superman in the 2006 film Superman Returns, dismisses the notion of a curse. He states that what occurs to one person or set of people will not necessarily occur to anyone, and that he does not live his life in fear. Ralph eventually played Ray Palmer, the Atom, on other DC-related projects, is a recurring character in Arrow and The Flash, and is a regular in the spin-off series Legends of Tomorrow. Occasionally, his role as Superman is referenced in the Arrowverse. He revisited the role in Crisis on Infinite Earths. There's a picture of Brandon Routh. Bob Holliday. This picture of Bob Holliday. Bob Holliday played Superman on Broadway in the 1960s musical It's a Bird Is a Plane of Superman. He called the idea of a Superman curse silly and said that nothing but good came from his playing Superman. He unfortunately died in 2017, though he's not really associated with the curse, and he was a stage actor. He wasn't actually in a movie or TV. So, next is Henry Cavill. He's probably the most famous Superman, and he's probably one of the most recent Superman. Henry Cavill plays Superman in the films Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, Justice League, is director's cut Zack Snyder's Justice and Black Adam. He has said that he does not believe there is a Superman curse, and that incidents through to be evidence of it are explained by bad luck. Here's a picture of Henry Cavill. He basically went to DCU, which he might be in the Flash, we don't know. If so, he lost a pin in Black Adam, so yeah. And then finally, Tyler Hoechlin, which is the most recent Superman we've had. Tyler Hoechlin plays Superman and Supergirl, set in Arrowverse, and in his own Arrowverse series, Superman and Lois. That's Tyler Hoechlin. And there really isn't nothing bad, but nothing really bad's happened to him. So that is pretty much it. That is Superman curse. Now I pretty much ask, is the Superman curse real? I say no, because I feel like George Reeves' death was tragic. Christopher Reeves' one was also kind of tragic, but I feel like if he didn't get thrown off the horse, he probably still would have been alive. And also, Kirk Allen, he just died. It was 88, which, Kirk Allen, he died from Alzheimer's disease, and he was 88. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much Superman Curse. I want to get this video because I don't think there's actually a video like this on YouTube. I've seen some, but like there was a documentary about it back in the day, but that one's more outdated. This one's a more recent one. So yeah. So guys, thank you for watching my video. I will see you in my next video, and goodbye.